What it do, man? It's your boy Battle Truth coming to you live and direct from the Battle Truth headquarters. Let's get right off into this, man. Remy Ma, you shouldn't have never provoked the Papoose to open his mouth, because I'm telling you, there's no way you can come back from this. You have allowed your jealous, obsessive, manipulating ways to literally bring you down lower than you ever been. At the same time, trying to put on a smile to the world as though you're all right. You're all right. You're not. You haven't a lot of mental breakdowns, and it don't seem like you psychologically sound. And I'm not just saying that just to be saying that. I read spirits very well. And I have the spirit of discernment. I can look in a person's eyes and tell when they not really there. I can see your behavior and how you act. I can see how you don't take responsibilities nor accountability for the things that you do, and you try to look for faults in others rather than admitting your error. You literally sitting up here and trying to say that now, since Papoose have moved on, that he's not a good father. Trying to do anything you can to balance the scales by which the social media world see you under as a result of what you did to yourself. So you want to bring him down with you as a means of your manipulative actions. Now, when you think about what's happening, she's saying that this man basically, since they not together, ain't involved in his daughter's life. Remy, why would you do that, man? Why would you do that? Like, for real, why would you do that? And then it just makes you look even worse, because you're trying to protect Easy, who literally on record admitting to wanting to bring you down and blackmailing you. And you trying to tear down the man who had your best interests. You trying to tear down the person who was willing to risk his life and freedom for you. You tearing down the person who not only love you, but love your daughter and your family. You tearing him down, but finding comfort in the enemy. You sleeping with the enemy, but yet you trying to tear down a man who actually there in your life. Yeah, I'm keeping it 100. It is terrible. And it's sad. And you have brought shame to yourself, to your family. And it don't even bother you. It don't even bother you. It don't even bother you at all. And it's terrible. Trying so hard to stay relevant. Like, man, girl. So let's address it. See, since it's all out there, let's address it. We got the facts. We got the evidence. And that's another thing about this going on between y'all two. You have no evidence. And the things you calling yourself having evidence on is stupid. Nobody cares he ponded your jewelry. He's supposed to ponder it. You sleeping with other dudes, taking money out of y'all account for y'all family, and you spending it on other guys. He's supposed to pawn your jewelry, took it back, and get his money back. You're not deserving of it. What are you talking about? Any man would do that. Why? I done bought you all type of thousands of dollars worth of jewelry, and you sitting up here cashing out the next dude. You bought this dude a house, a car, jewelry. I'm buying you jewelry, you buying him jewelry. Nah, we not finna play them games. And you want us to think that he did something foul for taking his jewelry back. Like, girl, get up out of here. You sound dumb as hell. Here, take it. Take it. Bang the gavel on your damn self. Don't worry. I'm going to do it for you. No. No. No, 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 no. No. Girl, get out of here with that trash. You sound crazy as hell. Crazy as hell. You're not right up there. You're not right up there at all. We're going to break that down too. We got all the receipts. So let's address it. Let's hear from Papoose himself. And let's see what the brothers say. And then we're gonna put up some clips of our own. Let's hear what the brother had to say about this situation.
Not only am I home with my daughter who's still a baby, I'm home with my daughter who's used to having her mother and her father, so she's crying every single night for you, and you're not answering the phone. So dealing with that, raising my child night after night by myself while she with a clown, you know what I'm saying, who bragging to people, yo, I'm fucking his wife, the whole thing. I'm eating it because I'm not saying nothing. I'm going to catch this nigga. This is my mentality. I'm going to wait till I catch him. So,
okay, hold on. Now, for the most part, notice what he said. I'm sitting here with the baby while you out night after night with this dude, you know what I'm saying, trying to keep him in pocket. My daughter crying for you and things like that, and rightfully so. When you used to waking up in the house and going to sleep every night with your mama and daddy, they all sleep in the bed together. You know how kids is when they with their mom and daddy. Sometimes they turn to their mama, sometimes they turn to their daddy, and that's the benefit of having both parents in there, because you get the best of both worlds. You have the balance there, where the child is actually being nurtured in the right way by both parents, and the love is completed within the family. That's why the devil hate family. He loved to bring in a third wheel to cause disorder within the family, so that the kids can be dysfunctional. He hates family. You got to know that. So when he makes that statement, that's a real true statement of what really goes on. And it's actually a fact in many households. In many households, it's actually a fact. So when he make that statement, I could bear witness to that. Okay? So what else, Papoose, before we get off into these other receipts?
me not saying nothing, he thought it was sweet. Feel me? Making a little post about it and all that. He thought it was sweet. Nah, young man, far from that. But moving on along, the process of me dealing with all of that, being in the crib, constantly dealing with that, my daughter, you know what I'm saying, quit the job, you know what I'm saying, the executive position, working that, but still trying to balance everything, still paying all the utilities in the crib, the whole thing. I can honestly admit, going through that, I'm not a person that uses drugs. Anybody that know me will tell you that. Verify it. Very, very, extremely mentally sober.
Now, according to Remy, he's fabricating and lying, and he's the one that's not really a part of his daughter's life. Where is your evidence, Remy, of that, to make such a statement like that, when you clearly the one who actually destroyed your own house, destroying your own house? Here's another thing. Here's another reason how y'all know she's a liar, and that she knows that all this is because of her. This is how you know it, right? She tried to go on live and say, how is people calling me a whore? I've been with the same man ever since I was 24 years old. And this was her excuse. She said some people just grow out of love. In other words, she's talking about herself, because Papoose ain't grew out of love. He's still in love with you. Even after all the embarrassment and shame and fornication and adultery you did against him, he's still in love with you. He's still in love with you. He accepts Clarissa Shield as a means to get over his heartbreak, like most people do, because when you're going through heartbreak, what makes it worse is when you alone. So you have to start dating again so you won't be alone, because the enemy is always at its greatest strength when you alone. When you alone. So he considered Clarissa Shields because he couldn't really have the woman who he actually in love with and want, and it's you. And it's embarrassing that he got to cut on the internet to see his wife in and out of town with another dude while he's stuck with the baby, which he don't mind, because he would rather his baby be under him, protected, loved, and not being disrespected from a woman who continue to disrespect the baby, having sex with another woman in your marital bed with your baby right there. Like, that is so trifling and nasty and disgusting and filthy. And then again, she's in denial and try to make it seem as though She didn't do nothing wrong. Okay. So right there, he basically just telling you how it is. And it's true what was going on with his daughter. Now, let me show y'all something, people. Exhibit A. Do this look like a person who's neglecting his daughter?
Me. 1, 2. Me. Put your hands up. 1, 2, 1. I said 1. 1. Me.
Now, some of y'all will watch that and be like, oh man, that's so loving. It is. It really is. But it also shows you the time that he has invested in his child. That's a routine. That is a routine. And look how young that girl is. That is a routine that they had to continue practice, and she knows it by heart. Let's look at that again.
Me. 1, 2. Me. Put your hands up. 1, 2, 1. I said 1. 1. Me.
That's a routine. And you know what else? She looked just like her mama. She is literally a splitting image of her mama. Papoose is in love with her mother, and she looks like her mother. Now you understand why she's so precious to him even more. And in fact, this is why babies are precious. The love first started with the man and woman before the children come. That's how God designed it. The children is a token of the love. The children resembles the love by which they were made and created. Out of love. Out of love. Remember, he wanted to have a baby by her. She didn't want to have no child. She chasing after her career, wanting to be relevant, wanting to compete with Cardi B, wanting to compete with Megan Thee Stallion, wanting to compete with Nicki Minaj. She didn't want to bring in the precious gift of the world. But he, being in love with her, wanted one of the greatest joys you can get out of love. A child. By the woman you love. See, the sad thing about having children out of wedlock is that 9 times out of 10, you don't love the woman you having sex with who just so happened to get pregnant. Now, you may love your child and care about your child, but you have no love for the woman who may have had that child for you because y'all probably just having sex and she got pregnant. But when you have a child by the woman or man you love, that child is more precious and above the rest of the children. Always, make no mistake about it. The children that's favored the most is the children that's made by the one you love. And that's the situation happening here. He's crazy about that little girl. And that little girl is crazy about him because he's in love with her mother. And she looks exactly like her mother. So he get to give his daughter, who's a splitting image of her mother, the love that her mother never got when she was coming up. And that's why you see him doing things like this.
Me. 1, 2. Me. Put your hands up. 1, 2, 1. I said 1. 1. Me.
That's real. Why would she go against that? Why would you tear that down? Why would you try to destroy that? Why did you destroy it? Why did you break that little girl's heart like that? Why? And then what's crazy, you broke the little girl's heart because of this?
Of doing a tell-all for your own benefit. She gave you a platform. Nobody would even know about you or be able to smell your breath. Put the picture back up again. If it wasn't for her wearing matching outfits with your ugly ass.
You chose the enemy over your own family. because of your greed, your selfishness, wanting to compete only to your own demise. The word of God will always be true. It say a wise woman builds her home, a smart woman. She embraced that. She honored that. I got a man that love me. I got a man that will give his life for me. I got a man that honor me. I got a man that respect me. I got a man that worship the ground I walk on and will do anything for his family. And you look at that as weakness. You took advantage of that. You look at that as weakness. You brought shame to your own family when you're supposed to be the nurturer of it. And then you allowed yourself to align yourself with the enemy all along while you're dealing with him. This man recording you, setting you up, arranging things to keep you entrapped, to keep you in a snare, that in case you ever get out of line, in case you ever get out of pocket, I'm going to destroy everything about you. Not caring about your husband, not caring about your family, not caring about your children. And you sitting up here covering for him. You sitting up here making up excuses for him because you got to stay in it because you ain't woman enough to admit that you did wrong. A bad father, huh? Now you tearing down at your daughter's father, who she love. And this stuff you put out here, it stays on the internet. When she get older, she's going to see this. Are you trying to tear down her father, embarrass her father, shame her father for a stranger? Because you messed up the house. Let's look at some more exhibits. Exhibit number 2. Let's look at this. This right here is so telling. This is very, very telling right here, folks. This is Remy Ma, Papoose, and the daughter. Let's see how the baby responds to her own mama. Let's see who the child really loves, because children know. Children know the truth.
Excuse me.
Look at the baby, like, get away from my daddy. Remy is showing this on purpose because she knows that her daughter is crazy about her father, which shows who really have the baby the most. This is showing who have the baby the most, who's more gentle with the baby, who's more caring with the baby, who's more loving with the baby. Now, I'm not saying that Remy Ma don't love her child. Of course, she carried the baby for all those months. She risked her life pushing her out. I would not do that to this woman, even though she's out of pocket in the things she's doing. I know she loves her daughter. She just moving wrong and doing ignorant things, destroying her own family as a means of putting herself first, being very selfish. She don't understand that putting herself first and the things she want to do is actually putting herself last. In her mind, she believed that her actions is putting her in a position to win, when in reality, it's actually destroying her and affecting the family with longevity, hurt, and scars that will be hard for them to come up out of. She's literally putting her family in quicksand and don't have the strength to pull it up as a means of her arrogance and being a narcissist woman who's ruling and living the raps. That's what she doing, y'all. She is living the raps. All the raps you hear say, like, yeah, I'm a bad bitch, and I check niggas like this, and I got niggas in pocket like this. I keep them alive. She's trying to live the raps in her real life at the expense and shame of her own family. Let's look at it some more. So she wanted the world to see Remember, when they together, she wants the world to see how much of a good father Papoose is by showing this example of how attached his daughter is to him by means of the time he spent with her, loving her, hugging her, kissing her, training her, disciplining her, educating her. So Remy want to give us a sneak peek at her daughter's love for her father, that even when it comes to her herself, the daughter chooses the father because she knows where the true love is coming from.
Oh, hey, you get too aggressive there.
I can't kiss him? No?
Look, she trying to get in the middle. Look, she trying to get in the middle so Remy can't be close to him. See, he got her on the right, Remy on the left. She trying to work her way over to the right to cut Remy off from coming near her father. Now, a child wouldn't do that. A child wouldn't be so protective of their father like that, against the mama like that, if the mama was doing the equivalent of what the father was doing. A child would just let it happen. A child would just let it happen. I got 7 kids. They never done no stuff like that. A child would just let it happen. When your love is equivalent to the one who they see that love them the most. And babies know who love them the most. That baby know when she cry who's going to be the first one to attend to her. That baby know who's more gentle. That baby know who's more giving, who's more caring. That baby knows who's more loving. That's their natural instincts and being the baby. They know how to read spirits because they still in their innocence. So they very good in reading spirits. How do this look like a man who's not a good father when the baby is literally telling on you?
Excuse me.
Oh, hey, you get too aggressive there.
I can't kiss him? No?
She gonna get in the middle.
Can you give Al a kiss? Can you give me a kiss? Can you give me a kiss? No? Because Daddy.
Hey.
Oh. I don't want neither one of y'all.
Look, you can also see that even in his love for her, he also corrects her and disciplines her. Notice every time she got too aggressive with Remy, he like, hey, and she immediately fall back. When he said, hey, again, she rested her head on his chest. So she acknowledges not only is he the one that do the main nurturing, he's also the one that disciplines, who's literally bringing her up the most. So why would she go on record trying to shame this man and trying to present him as being now a bad father when you once presented him to us as being a damn good father? That's the problem of why this thing hurts you even worse. And why in this social media era, why would you do something like that when we got all the evidence and we could just easily put it together to really show like, no, you're the problem. Because of things like that. Do you even have something like that? Do you even have something like that? And yes, that's heartbreaking to that little girl. when you have divided your family like that, that's shameful, man. It is. And I think this should be a lesson for everybody. Like, for real, it's a lesson for everybody. And that's how I look at these things. Listen, man, do not let outsiders come in between y'all relationships. Stop thinking that the grass is green on the other side, and you'll find out it's not. One of the greatest tricks that the enemy played on Adam and Eve in the garden was trying to get their focus off what they did have and made them focus on the things they didn't have. When God gave Adam and Eve this whole world, they was blessed abundantly. And the one thing he told them that they couldn't have, that's what the enemy reminded them of. They ruled out everything that God gave them and became fixed on what they couldn't have. And what so many people do in relationships and family. You so focus on what you don't have that you forget what you do have. And what you do have been keeping and sustaining you all these years, because it's greater than what you have made yourself believe that it wasn't. Sometimes you forget how beautiful she is. Sometimes you forget how loving and respectful he is. Sometimes you forget the value and purpose of family and what you can pour into your children, who's supposed to be your investment, by which what you pour into them will bless your life in the future. We live in this microwave era where you want everything right now, and you forget that trials and tribulations build patience and character to help you along the way. That the things you want to get and have, because of you go through things, you know how to keep them. You know how to keep them and respect them. So yeah, things like that. And I think it's just very shameful, man. You want to honor and praise the next man, but then bring shame on a man who literally committed his whole life to you.
No streets for you. Leave me waiting on you. Listen, no streets